President al-Assad tells the Noticias that observing silence towards the terrorists would encourage them to go ahead in their terrorist acts. One citizen is killed and 8 injured in mortar shells fired by terrorists on a number of neighborhoods in Damascus. The Syrian Arab Army and the Lebanese resistance take control of Ras al-Kosh and Qarnet Ras al-Sha'be in al-Jarajir priories in al-Qalamun. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am Irado Krikorian from the News Center in Damascus. President Bashar al-Assad received this morning UN Special Envoy to Syria, Staffan de Mistura, and the delegation accompanying him. During the meeting, de Mistura explained that the aim of his visit was to brief President al-Assad on the results of his consultations in Geneva with Syrians who represent various factions of the Syrian society and to discuss the next steps to be taken in order to complete his report on Syria to be submitted to the UN Security Council late next July. Discussions centered on the massacre perpetrated by the terrorists in Aleppo city yesterday against innocent civilians and children, and that the main danger threatening Syria and the Syrians is terrorism, which is funded and armed by certain known states. The discussions underlined the fact that what is important today is to recover security in Syria and safeguard its sovereignty and territorial integrity. President al-Assad pointed out that observing silence towards the crimes the terrorists are committing would only encourage them to go ahead with their terrorist acts. His Excellency affirmed that the whole world should be aware of the danger posed by terrorism on its security and stability and must adopt a clear, brave stand against the terrorists and all those who do not abide by UN Security Council's resolutions related to combating terrorism in our region. Agreement was reached at the end of the meeting to follow up consultations in order to find an effective political solution to the crisis in Syria and to restore security and stability to the country. Welcome back. A citizen was killed and 7 others were injured in terrorist attacks with 10 rocket shells targeting residential quarters in Al-Mazze, Barze, Al-Mazra neighborhoods and Al-Jahiz Park in Damascus today. A source at Al-Muwasat Hospital in Damascus told Sana's correspondents that 8 people were injured, including 6 children, pointing out that one of the wounded died late injuries he had sustained during the attack. Material damage was moreover inflicted on a number of houses, shops and cars. In cooperation with the Lebanese resistance, the Syrian Arab Army continues its operations in the northeastern part of al-Qalamun after taking control of al-Fleta prairies and the western part of the area, including the 4-kilometer-long Blue Kosat Hills. The Syrian Arab Army also took control of Shmeisha al-Hissan Hills and a number of crossings and lines of supply which were used by the armed terrorist groups, in addition to Sadr al-Arus Hills and Qarnet al-Shahade and al-Awayni crossings in the east and west. In Dar'a countryside, a Syrian Arab Army unit has left more than 100 al-Nusra terrorists killed or wounded in Busra Sham and destroyed their weapons and equipment. In Damascus suburb, a Syrian Arab Army unit destroyed 4 vehicles and killed all the Nusra gunmen inside it in Khan al-Sheikh. In Homs countryside, the Syrian Arab Army also targeted ISIL and al-Nusra hideouts in Palmyra and the vicinity of al-Sha'ir oil field, as well as in al-Ghanto village, killing and wounding scores of armed men and destroying the machine gun-provided vehicles. The Syrian Air Force also killed several terrorists north of Morek and Al-Mishrfa, as well as in Rahjan and Salba villages, and destroyed their equipment in Hama suburb. In the outskirts of Latakia, the Syrian Arab Army killed al-Nusra leader and demolished 3 weapons warehouses. Amnesty International criticized the world's negligence of the plight of Syrian refugees, calling on the neighboring countries to ease the measures taken to prevent their entry. In a press conference held in Beirut, Amnesty International Secretary General Salit Shiti called on the main host countries that impose severe restrictions on the entry of the Syrian refugees to ease these restrictions and to exempt the refugees from the residency conditions visas. Shiti said that the Syrian refugees who are exposed to reduced aid are likely to continue their attempts to cross the Mediterranean, which is the most dangerous sea route for refugees to reach Europe. Shiti said that after receiving more than 4 million Syrian refugees since 2011, Lebanon, Jordan and Turkey are now closing their borders. The Amnesty International Secretary General called on these and other hosting countries to end the forced deportation of Syrian refugees. Over to Yemen, where Saudi airstrikes continue on Yemen for the 83rd consecutive day, targeting Sana'a, Sa'da, Al-Juf, Taiz and other Yemeni cities, leaving more victims among Yemeni citizens and spreading devastation throughout the area. In Sana'a, 7 Yemenis were killed and others injured in the Saudi shelling. Others were also killed or wounded in similar airstrikes on Sa'da, Al-Hudayda, Faj'attan and Taiz. In retaliation, the Yemeni Army Rocket Force fired 10 missiles at the Amesha camp in Zahran and other military sites on the Yemeni borders. The Yemeni Army also stormed into Burj al-Hajar, south of the Saudi Al-Radif military site in Jazan province, destroying Saudi weapons and equipment. Iraqi troops have thwarted the terrorist plot to attack the capital Baghdad from Al-Fallujah city, eliminating 26 ISIL leaders. The Iraqi Air Force targeted the terrorists during the latter's meeting in the town of Al-Qa'im near the Syrian-Iraqi borders, where they were planning to launch an extensive terrorist attack on Baghdad, scoring direct hits and completely destroying the building where they were meeting. Finally, and in our local news, new batch of students graduated from the Higher Institute for Languages at Damascus University, which participated in the campaign Live It in a Different Way by offering scholarships and by opening new language courses.
As part of the campaign Live It in a Different Way, the Higher Institute for Languages at Damascus University opened several language courses in Spanish, Italian and Armenian. Many students followed these courses and some of them were distinguished.
This initiative inspired by the campaign of Live It in a Different Way. So the Higher Institute for Languages launched Live Your Library in a Different Way. A number of students were honored by granting them free courses. Also, there are free courses for the distinguished students, and in the next few days we will open 3 new courses in Aramaic, Persian and Greek. We offer free courses for more than 60 students.
I followed an Armenian course and I took a certificate for graduating from it. I'm so happy.
A new batch of students graduated from the institute, and the top excellent ones in each course were honored generously as part of the campaign Live It in a Different Way, which was launched to boost the defying spirit of the Syrian people who continue to live their life as normal and to resist all kinds of terrorism.
With this, we conclude our news for today. Thank you for watching. For more details about Syria and the region and to view this bulletin again, you can always visit our Facebook page, Syria TV channels. You may also watch the Syrian satellite channel live on YouTube. Now to latest business and market news with Nariman Qassam, but after a short break, stay tuned.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. The Central Bank of Syria has set the exchange rate of the US dollar against the Syrian pound at 276.35 for the banks and 276.37 for the exchange companies. The Central Bank has also set the exchange rate of the US dollar against the Syrian pound for the transfers at 275. On the other hand, the euro exchange rate against the Syrian pound was set at 374 for the banks and 309.76 for the exchange companies. U.S. crude oil prices edged up today, supported by warnings that a tropical storm was about to hit the coast of the oil-producing state of Texas, while oversupply kept Brent steady. European shares hit a near 4-month low, and yields on lower-rated Eurozone sovereign debt climbed to their highest point since November, as financial markets braced for the possibility of Greece defaulting on its debt. Japanese stocks slipped today, while investors kept a wary watch for clues on the pace of the U.S. rate increases as the Federal Reserve begins a 2-day policy-setting meeting later in the day. Gold was firm near $1,185 an ounce today, clinging to overnight gains as Greece's failure to strike a deal with its creditors triggered safe haven bids. The dollar firmed in Asian trade today as traders braced for the outcome of the U.S. Federal Reserve's 2-day policy meeting that takes place amid the backdrop of a looming crisis in Greece. Ladies and gentlemen, this was our economic news for today. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.